My.
Got me hot. Yeah. Got me hot.
We're brothers. We're happy and we're singing and we're colored. Give me a high five.
Welcome to another edition of BroTalk Live, the best show in late night for you by us. BroTalk, we're always on the mark. Main man, Jason, in the director's seat as usual. Thanks for tuning in on another Tuesday night with the crew. Let's kick it over to my main man, Dex. What up, bro?
You guys know I always have a story to start the show off. Dexter stuck here. Super excited to be here. When did Drake join the show? Jason, get back on the screen. When did Drake get on the show?
My abs is real.
Put it back on the screen.
My abs is
wow.
BBL Drizzy.
I'm not putting myself back up. Mainly because I have a chicken tender in my hand and I'm about to eat it. Tyler God, what up?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. So excited. In the director's seat as usual. Just kidding.
Is that where you're at?
Yeah.
Bill, what up?
I don't know. My neighborhood stinks because the city's on strike, so there's no trash pickup. You know, the whole city stinks. The entire city stinks. The whole city stinks.
They was thinking before that.
So if you take your own trash down to the garbage disposal, it's considered crossing the picket line?
Essentially, because there are people that get paid to pick up trash, and you are basically saying that, hey, we can get this done without them because we're just going to do it. Let me tell you what I'm not doing. I am not working all the live long day and then coming home and then being the trash man. That's not happening. We're not doing
that. Eric, have you ever had a situation where you had to take your own trash? No? Okay, thanks.
Like, the mayor of Philadelphia actually said, here are 63 dump locations around the city. And then she got on there and said, I'm going to urge all of you to do your part and take your own trash. Excuse me? You lost me right there. Do my part is putting it on the curb when it's trash day. That's doing my part.
Was like
every Monday.
Go ahead, Eric. What you say? Eric, what you say? Okay, we're having technical difficulties with Eric right now. You guys are supposed to let the city stink up? What's going on? Y'all doing that?
If I were over there, I wouldn't be doing that. I would be taking my trash down. I said,
no, not really. I said I've never had to pick up my own trash and take it.
Come to Philadelphia. Come to Death Row.
Come to Death Row.
You know, for me, to be honest with you, I'm not in this situation. Like, I don't live in an area that's affected by it, and I probably shouldn't be saying this because, like, I'm not affected by it, but I support it. Like, I support people getting what they deserve and getting their money. I support them because, you know, like, this is what they have to do. And I feel like, unfortunately for the rest of us, like, or them, they have to just do their part in a sense of, like, I don't know, maybe don't eat crab legs and have all that crab juice in the garbage can. Maybe eat cereal for a couple days or salads or something like that. Like, maybe
mix in a salad every now and then. That's what you're saying.
I mean, like, maybe just lower the amount of trash that you're putting out there. People are like,
but greens smell worse than anything when you got them in the trash.
Wow, I'm telling you, when them greens get hot,
them fresh greens.
Well, they won't. You eat it, like, so you don't have to worry about it. You just put the bag in there or whatever. And I think that maybe if people changed up their eating habits just for a couple days or whatever, like, that's doing your part. You won't have trash. People are like, I would never put slimy, smelly trash in my trash can. It's like, but what the hell are you eating and putting in that garbage can in the first place? Like, what's happening?
Them crab legs and them lobster tails.
One thing, I guess what it will do is make people more mindful of their carbon footprint. If you have to haul your own trash, where are these locations?
Hey, I don't even know what
tell you. Let me tell you one thing.
You know, good and goddamn well, people are not caring.
You be like, oh my
god,
God,
the YNs is going to be looking at the carbon footprint.
I watched
way too much trash out. Perhaps I should consider, a little compost or something.
Let me tell you something. I watched this man on the news with a pickup truck full of industrial-sized trash bags. Okay, but a, and he was like, I don't know where to go, and I was confused, and proceeded to unload 400 bags of trash out of a pickup truck. Nobody is thinking about a carbon footprint.
Wow. Shout out to all the Lions dealing with the travesty in Philly right now. We wish you all the best. If you have any trash or take how you want to give them the address, where your address, where you can drop it off. So.
Unfortunately, I have moved outside of the city limits, so I'm not quite certain.
The ordinances don't apply.
I do stand in solidarity with the residents of Philadelphia.
Whatever that means.
Oh, we love a solidarity. Are you standing with the residents or with the union workers striking? With whom are you standing in solidarity?
Standing with this trash.
I'm both and.
Okay, both and. That's a good answer.
All right, Dex, what's next?
We're gonna jump into politics as usual.
Politics as usual.
President, sorry, didn't mean to happen on you.
Glad I wasn't doing nothing crazy.
President Trump's so-called big, beautiful bill is a sweeping tax and spending package squeaked by with one vote to spare. And while Trump's calling it a win for cutting waste, quote unquote, others say it adds over $3 trillion, trillion with a T, big T, not the little one, to the deficit and slices into social programs. But the real drama is inside the Republican Party, where the fractures are no longer just showing, they're splintering. After nearly 24 hours of intense negotiations, the Senate passed Bill 51-50, with Vice President J.D. Vance breaking the tie. 3 Republican senators broke ranks, citing concerns over cuts to health care and food aid. But the real firestorm started after the vote, with Elon Musk publicly declaring war on the bill and the Republicans who supported it. Musk posted the following: "It is oblivious with the insane spending of this bill, which increases the debt ceiling by a record $5 trillion, that we live in a one-party country, the Porky Pig Party." Is he shading Trump? What is that about? Porky Pig? He said it's giving Porky.
That's all, folks.
We call him fat. He's like, right back at you, fat. So.
Time for a new political party that actually cares about the people.
Elon's running.
He continued, "Every member of Congress who campaigned on reducing government spending and then immediately voted for the biggest debt increase in history should hang their head in shame, and they will lose their next primary next year if it's the last thing I do on this earth."
We pray it is.
Oh my God, scorched earth. Oh, sorry. In the last tweet, he said, "If this insane spending bill passes, the America Party will be formed the next day." I guess by South African. Our country needs big on our country needs an alternative to the Democrat Republican Uniparty so that the people actually have a voice. President Trump fired back saying he doesn't know what "our" means because quiet as it's kept. You're not one of us. He threatened to review Musk's billions in federal contracts and even floated the idea of deporting the South African-born billionaire just for opening his mouth and criticizing Trump's big, beautiful bill, the triple B.
I don't know. I think we'll have to take a look. We might have to put Doge on Elon. You know what Doge is? Doge is the monster that might have to go back and eat Elon. Wouldn't that be terrible? He gets a lot of subsidies, Peter. But Elon's very upset that the EV mandate is going to be terminated. And you know what? When you look at it, not everybody wants an electric car. I don't want an electric car. I want to have maybe gasoline, maybe electric, maybe a hybrid, maybe someday a hydrogen. If you have a hydrogen car, it has one problem. It blows up,
What was that right there?
Hydrogen. What did the Trump say? Is that what I heard?
Yeah. Yeah, that's
That was
terrible.
scary, actually.
That boy struggled good.
Yeah, he did.
But of course, Trump's still saying that this deal eliminates inefficiencies in the federal government. But maybe the most revealing moment came after the vote from moderate Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski. Despite casting the deciding GOP vote, she made it clear on camera this wasn't a bill that she would say that she believed in. And although she did get a nice little cut for Alaska, you know, she did what she had to do.
There. Senator Paul said that that your vote was a bailout for Alaska at the expense of the rest of the country. Oh my God. That's what Senator Paul said.
The question was easy. Senator, we've got the.
I didn't say it, ma'am. I'm just asking for your response.
My response is I have an obligation to the people of the state of Alaska. And I live up to that every single day. I advocated for my state's interests. I will continue to do that, and I will make no excuses for doing that. Do I like this bill? No, because I tried to take care of Alaska's interests. But I know that in many parts of the country, there are Americans that are not going to be advantaged by this bill. I don't like that.
She said sorry to that man.
I'm so sorry to that man.
All 49 other states, sorry to y'all. But this thing worked for us. So
it worked good for this last state. This last addition to the union. We sorry to them, man.
Late addition. Now it's headed to the House, but the fallout may be already too big to contain. Trump wants this bill signed by July 4th, but the bill was changed in the Senate. So House GOP members are skeptical on whether or not they will agree to the new terms of the bill. She voted for it, but said she didn't like it. Would you trust someone who did that at your job? How do you feel about Lisa Murkowski and this like little sneak diss to the rest of the country where she said, I'm gonna look out for mine. You better get yours.
I think that more senators probably should follow her lead a little bit. I mean, I am a big proponent of like not just worrying about yourself, worrying about other people as well. But I do think that a lot of us would be happier if our senators fought harder for us, which is seemingly what she's doing for Alaska. She's like, that's what they put you there for. That's what they voted for you for. Like, I don't have to cheer for her. I'm in Philadelphia. People in Alaska, I would hope, will be happy that she, you know what I mean, that she put them first. I want the rest of them to do that to the rest of us. And if they did, we wouldn't be in this situation.
All right. Ty, how do you feel about someone who's just blatantly only concerned about their state and their state's interests? Is that troubling for the rest of the country? Because theoretically, because theoretically what Trump can do or what the Republicans can do is that they can pick and choose which states are the most important on any particular deal and how many votes they need and just give the person who's holding out, you know, the most benefits and just have things go their way.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that can be a very problematic precedent. And we obviously should not be setting it. But unfortunately, we're kind of in a time where they don't care about what the masses think about anything. I think people were very clear that this is not a bill that was supported by almost anyone. People were confused by it. They didn't like it. This was not what they put him in office for. And yet here we are. And so I guess it's kind of good that she's fighting for her state, but I wish that like Dex said, the rest of the people would fight so that this thing is not even happening. But this loyalist thing is getting out of hand to the point where you're doing things that you think don't make sense. Like they're not even pretending to agree. They're like, I hated this thing, but I voted for it. For what? Then why are you there? Why are you doing that?
Because he made some special provisions so Alaskans won't feel the brunt of it. Like that's kind of what it's all coming down to.
Oh boy, isn't it dark over there right now? Who cares?
And it's going to be dark until the fall. And it's dark. Going to be dark then too.
They're not even up yet. Who cares what they got? They don't even know what's happening.
Bill, does Elon Musk, standing up, quote unquote, for Americans, does that seem genuine, or is he just about his money and this?
Absolutely. Let me tell you something. Elon Musk is the illegal immigrant that they're trying so hard to get rid of. He's the one that needs to be packed up and gone back to wherever
But
it
he's
is.
talking about fighting good fights now, right?
I don't care what. If somebody came to you, Jason, with a butcher knife and stabbed you in your heart and then said, oh, we've got to get you to the hospital ASAP. You're in such dire. Call the ambulance. Are you believe in that? Like, what do we? If somebody walked up to you, robbed you, then shot you in your leg and watched you begin to bleed out, and it was like, oh God, we got to get a tourniquet and stop the bleeding. Like, would you believe that they were genuine?
These are all very specific and drastic. So you think Elon's just had irreparable damage on the U.S.?
He is in part responsible for shooting this country, the country that loves guns so much, shooting this country in the thigh, proverbially, and watching us bleed out. And then, after we've neared the end from hemorrhagic shock, he's like, oh, well, let's go ahead and get a tourniquet on there. High and tight, real hasty. Save the country.
And just kind of sold his morals to get whatever he wants. I don't know what morals he had. I don't know him personally, but
But now he's trying to get it back, right? It seems like he's trying to get it back.
No, he's not trying to do anything. He probably always felt this way. He just needed Trump to get what he needed to get, as if he wasn't rich enough. Like, how do you become the richest person in the world and feel like I need more? So now I have to hack the government, hack information, do all this stuff, take over, and then realize
he didn't even hack it.
Maybe I've gone too far.
And the thing is, he didn't even hack it. The government gave it to him because they're a bunch of idiots over there. The entire White House.
He brought that little hacker. He went in there with that hacker.
Let me tell you something. This entire administration reminds me of every single season of Veep that comes on HBO Max. It is every single thing that they said it would be. Like, he's walking through glass doors. He's got freaking who knows what's going on in that brain of his. Like, it is
HBO Max. Because it's not
HBO Max anymore.
No, it's not Max anymore. It's back to HBO Max.
Not just not
you gotta be kidding me.
You've been wrong long enough that you're right again.
Not this week. They changed the name of that, just like these people changed like how they felt about Donald Trump. Every other week is like a different opinion with these people, including Candace Owens, who I know we're going to talk about.
Oh, we're definitely going to talk about that a little bit.
I don't know if are we doing any more on this big, beautiful, terrible bill?
No.
Because really quickly, right? The majority of people in Pennsylvania that voted for him were poor white Americans on food stamps. Guess what? He's cutting $1 trillion to food stamps and Medicare and Medicaid. Guess what?
Well, not to Alaska.
I don't care about what those people are sleeping. They're in a perpetual rest. Okay, I don't care what happens up there. Whatever you want to call it, in them igloos.
That senator up there looks like she was in the dark for a while.
When he answered that question and they told her to, like, please give me an answer for this, the way she turned and looked at him and just stood there
stared at him in his face.
Here's the thing: the governor of Pennsylvania has come out and said that Pennsylvania will not be able to afford the SNAP program. That means that the majority of those people that voted for Donald Trump that are on food stamps will no longer have food stamps after the House approves this bill. Good luck eating, poors.
Whoa, Bill, you're going to get them hillbillies in the uproar.
Good for them. And I let them eat each other. That's what needs to happen. Starve to death and then eat each other. That way, natural selection can wipe them out. I've had enough of them.
Direction on the phone. Thank you.
Dialing in.
Eric, why are these politicians so afraid to vote no? Like, what do you think it is?
I mean, they towing the company line. You know, they scared of TT. They towing the company line.
Not TT.
Oh yeah.
What's TT's? What's TT?
Remember we said we would call Donald Trump TT from now on.
TT.
Oh, yeah, you're right. No, you're
right. Taco Trump. You know, right. I ain't forgot.
Big TT.
Big Taco. Yeah, we call him Big Taco.
Okay, Gordita. Can we do that?
Yeah. Well, Gordita Crunch.
Gordita Crunch is crazy.
All right. Next, we have a Supreme Court decision that may not seem flashy, but it could change who gets to be called an American citizen.
Jesus.
The court ruled that federal judges no longer have the authority to issue nationwide injunctions, meaning that they can't block a president's policy from taking effect everywhere, even if it's unconstitutional in their courtroom. But why does that matter? Because, of course, it could opened the door, at least partially, for Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship. That order would deny citizenship to kids born in the U.S. if their parents are undocumented, a direct challenge to the 14th Amendment. Now, enforcement is still paused on this for 30 days, and the lower courts will have to decide how to interpret the ruling. But in the meantime, we could look at a patchwork America where citizenship depends on what state you were born in. And just as that ruling dropped, Trump decided to double down on the issue of citizenship and deportation altogether.
I'd like to say, a little controversial, but I couldn't care less. We have a lot of bad criminals that came into this country, and they came in stupidly. It was an unforced error. It was an incompetent president that allowed it to happen. It was an auto pen maybe that allowed it to happen, and it did happen. But we also have a lot of bad people that have been here for a long time, people that whack people over the head with a baseball bat from behind when they're not looking and kill them, people that knife you when you're walking down the street. They're not new to our country. They're old to our country. Many of them were born in our country. I think we ought to get them the hell out of here, too. You want to know the truth. So maybe that'll be the next job that we'll work on together.
Nice.
He's right. And those are all the people that he pardoned on January the 6th. Those are the ones at Woodstock 99. Those are the people.
Are you afraid of getting knifed downtown on South Street?
Every time I go down there. Absolutely.
Hit over the head with a baseball bat getting killed.
Absolutely. And worse than that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, like these people have been here 400 years, long enough, and deported.
Yes, Lord.
What's crazy is that if you guys remember, Nancy Pelosi's husband actually got attacked by someone who was like hitting him with baseball bats and stuff. And what did he do? He endorsed it. Like he thought it was the funniest thing and the most honorable thing. And it's just funny how he just makes up these situations when it's convenient for him to have these takes.
Trump really does anything to endorse chaos. As a matter of fact, not just Trump, the Supreme Court. What a menace they are.
That's because they put that Sacha Baron Amy Cohen on there, and she's never been a judge before. And so she's just around there doing any old thing.
Can you imagine they're saying that these judges don't have the right to rule on things, that you can have something that affects people nationwide not go into different effects?
They're turning him into a tyrant. It's literally in real time.
But what's frustrating about that, though, is that you were warned about this. To be honest with you, and I believe in the justice system. I believe in the law, whatever. But there was an opportunity that they gave y'all to convict Donald Trump and put him in jail. They gave that to y'all, and y'all was just like, "No, we're gonna let him out." He is doing these things because y'all allowed him to do these things. Everything that's happening wrong with this country, he was granted permission to do it. As soon as y'all said y'all found him not guilty and said he could still run for president and all that stuff like that, y'all did this to us. 100%.
So you think it's a part and parcel, the actions that they didn't make is the reasons why we're at today. They didn't follow the checks and balances that they had. They didn't use it. Exactly.
100%. And I believe that a lot of the Stormy Daniels stuff didn't make a lot of sense. It didn't make sense. But at the same time, there's a lot of stuff with the O.J. Simpson stuff. When they put him in jail, it didn't make any sense. Y'all should have used this as an opportunity to just get him. I'm sorry, but you just should have cheated justice.
If you don't lose it, you'll lose it, right? So they didn't use the advantage that now looks like they're going to lose it.
Jail would have been the best thing for the country. I'm sorry,
and I tried to tell y'all that, and you guys were trying to bet me that he wouldn't go to jail. You were right.
You were right because we knew he wasn't going to jail. We agreed that he should have gone to jail. Semicolon, however, comma, we knew that those January 6ers, we knew that those people that are hiding in those, they playing dress up in their room with their little white hoods. They still on them benches, and we knew that they were not going to send him to jail. We knew it. We knew.
Yeah.
We knew.
And
this is who America is.
We were warned about this stuff because a lot of this stuff is in their Project 2025 document. A lot of these things were already rumored when he was running, and they would ask him about it. He'd be like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And now all this stuff is coming to fruition. This is
just like this.
You know what I think is interesting, and I said it while he was running. Germany, the people of Germany literally were holding up signs like, "Hey, we've seen this before. Don't do it."
Yeah. Eric, are you worried I mean, you're not a naturalized citizen. I wouldn't say that, but are you worried of your freedoms being infringed upon? Because now it seems like they're just sawing away, piece by piece on what makes someone actually eligible to be able to vote. And pretty soon, it seems like it's probably going to come for us eventually, right?
Hey, man. As soon as them people in the windbreakers knock on my door, I got 17 and 1 in the hole. So I ain't even worrying about it.
Okay, thank you. Don't knock on Eric's door. The word to the wise.
And Bill will understand me. I got a 60-round drum, so he understands.
Okay. Ooh, we love a drum. As a musician, I tell you, I love me a good drum. I love me a good drum.
There we go.
I got a few drums on this side.
A percussionist.
As a percussionist, I got a few drums on this side.
Rich says they have a Project 2025 tracker website on their progress, which is also pretty scary.
The other side to this, though, is the Democrats need to grow themselves a spine and stop being so.
More than that.
Oh, swell then.
What a nice little transition you have. Look at you. Democrats have officially launched Project 2029.
Excuse me.
First, we're not gonna survive to 2029, so y'all gonna have to come up with something a little sooner.
I mean, like yesterday.
Project 2029 is a 2-year policy rollout designed to shape the next presidential agenda before the next nominee is chosen. Modeled after Project 2025, is meant to provide clarity and cohesion, something many felt was missing from Kamala Harris's campaign last fall. But the question remains, will this be the answer to the party's messaging problem or just another DC blueprint with no traction? And speaking of messaging, let's talk about Nelly. The rapper faced backlash for performing at Trump's second inauguration, but now he's putting the spotlight back on Democratic leadership. In a pointed Instagram post, Nelly questioned why Kamala Harris, a former prosecutor with a controversial to some record on criminal justice, became a progressive favorite, while he's being criticized for accepting an invitation to perform. He didn't endorse anyone, he says, but he did call out what he sees as racial and political double standards. He wrote, "I'll put whatever up me and Snoop do more in the community and have been for over 20 years against any of you that were just on here talking trash and have no stats to back up what you mean to the community. From the black families that we employ to the black children that we help every day, all year through our nonprofits, whether we're sending kids to schools on scholarships to HBCUs or helping young black boys in LA Gang Central with his junior football programs, blah, 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 blah. Y'all have a problem with because the prosecutor, quote, who probably has locked up more black men than we've helped, woman of color with the white husband and white kids, did not win the election. Again, I reiterate, I did not campaign for anyone. I do not tell people who to vote for. I respect and love our country from top to bottom, good and bad, and I'm very aware that there's a lot of things in this country that we need to work on. The right is too far right and the left is too far left. I'm a military baby with a grand uncle who's a Tuskegee Airman and a red tail that was very prideful for his country." I think I will. He continued saying, "There's so many of you would dump on 2 black men that's married to 2 black women that has black children because the quote woman of color with the white husband and white kids didn't win." That was Nelly's thoughts on Kamala Harris. On the other side of the aisle is one Candace Owens, who says that she's done defending Donald Trump, calling her past support, quote unquote, embarrassing. Owens now accuses Trump of abandoning the core MAGA principles in the base that she created and outsourcing U.S. foreign policy. Her critique is more than personal. She's framing it as a conservative betrayal of values. Here's what Candace Owens had to say to Piers Morgan, who seems to get all the great interviews nowadays.
Are you done with Donald Trump, or could you see a way that you would end up perhaps voting for him? Oh, you can't run again, obviously, but would you support him publicly again?
So I want to be clear. I don't regret voting for Donald Trump above Kamala. I think he was the better candidate, certainly a better candidate above Joe Biden. But what I will say is that he's been a chronic disappointment. And I feel embarrassed that I told people to go vote for him because this wasn't going to happen and it is happening.
Okay.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
She doesn't regret it, but she feels embarrassed. So let's put it on the table. How do you feel about, first, the prospects of Project 2029? Do you see Project 2029 becoming a thing?
No, nobody's falling for that again.
It's the falling.
No, yeah, nobody's gonna fall for that again. They're gonna come out and they're gonna say, "Oh, we're gonna wipe out your student loans again and get everybody excited," and then they're just gonna let everybody else down.
You sound like Ty. But Ty got his. Ty, you got yours forgiven, so you can't even say that.
I would like to think that my student loans were forgiven under a program that existed long before Joe Biden got in office. Do a 15-year bid for it to happen.
Okay. So you're saying President Biden had nothing to do with your forgiveness?
He reformed the program, which was helpful for me. So yeah, he did.
So say thank you.
No.
That's so nasty.
They do what they said they were going to do.
Dex, do you think Project 2029 a go or no?
They'll probably run with it, but I don't think. I mean, you got to come a little harder than that. Like
right.
The catchy slogans, yes we can and whatnot, that ain't gonna work.
It ain't gonna work. It's not gonna work no more.
Yeah, you got to come super hard next. Like truthfully, you gotta go like state to state and go knock on the door, Sally man, and be like, cancel that person's student loans right now, and that's how you gotta pay us to vote for you. Like you gotta campaign like for real. You gotta campaign.
The Republicans put out like a book. Like, are they gonna go band for band with them with the Heritage Foundation?
Yeah.
Like that's what I want to know. Like, what do y'all have for this manifesto they got? What are y'all putting out?
And here's the thing: the Democrats need, and like it sounds crazy, but they would have to come with some sweeping legislation, borderlining a manifesto that basically says F Trump and F the Republic. Like it has to be explicitly written on page number 1. Right there. Like, it's got to be written in there.
So basically what we're saying is that the only way for the Democrats to do anything is that Project 2029 has to say in one page, it just has to say, we're giving all black people reparations. If you do that, the election, I think
No, you know, black people don't cost that much, man. All they got to do is say we're gonna double your food stamps and give you an Obama phone. They be good.
I'm a black person. Like, but that doesn't work for me.
Okay, I don't know what he's talking about over there. I'm telling you.
The aim of the Project 2029 is to organize a group of Democratic thinkers to recreate what Mr. Trump's allies, this from New York Times, did when he was voted out of office, draft a ready-made agenda for the next Democratic presidential nominee.
I don't even know what that means. Like
too many words already.
When you put it out there, you got to put it out there in English.
Like it needs to be simplified. Like I'm telling you what it needs to say on page number 1. Overturn Project 2025. Start there. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, like page number 2 needs to say pack the courts out. Number 3, they need to be explicit and go through. Number 4, we are overturning all of Trump's things on day number 1. If our candidate doesn't get with this, that's not our candidate. We're not even putting them forward to the convention. That's how this needs to go. The Democrats continually tote this soft, like, oh, we just want peace and love and hair grease and daffodils and roses. Get rid of all of that, okay? Pull out them guns and let them know we got guns too, okay? We love the Second Amendment. We're musicians with drums, okay? And we'll allow you to keep your drum.
A six. What is it called? A 60 count? 60 piece?
I'm not sure of the terminology.
Eric, what did you say? What did you say, Eric? What did you say, Eric?
60 rounds in there.
Okay, yeah, and it's in the drum. Okay, and the percussion.
And just real quick on Nelly and Candace Owens, I think both of them are doing the same thing. They're not talking about a political candidate at all. Like they're trying to defend themselves. They're trying to put themselves in a different light. What I hate about what the two of them are doing is that y'all are dragging us into this and making it a political thing when in reality, you just don't want people to talk negatively about you. And I don't necessarily disagree with what Nelly was saying at the beginning, but then when you get towards the end, when it's just like, she has a white husband, this, then the third, like, so you are endorsing Donald Trump, who, by the way, has a white wife and is a white man. So like, what are we doing there?
And she's one of those.
Candace Owens do this thing where she's trying to revamp herself because I see so many of you black people say, these are the ones that Eric was talking about too. who say like, I can't believe I see myself agreeing with Candace Owens. Don't do that. You don't agree with Candace Owens. She doesn't agree with you. She's pandering to you, and you're falling into it. Don't do it.
Don't.
Candace used to talk about something on that podcast after they put her out. And she have gotten a position she was expecting in Donald Trump's camp, she wouldn't be saying any of the stuff she's saying. I think you need to ignore Candace. Like you've been doing.
Which brings me to my last point. Explain to me how he was the better candidate, but now all of a sudden he was not. He was the exact same person when you were out there stumping for him and telling people to vote for him. He was the same person.
Candace Owens notedly is not a fan of Israel whatsoever. So all this Israel stuff that's happening, she's not a fan of. So
he changed the embassy when he was president the first time.
She did.
There
he did.
There are millions of Jewish people who were advocating and voting for Donald Trump. Why do you think they did that? Like, one thing you cannot say about Donald Trump is that he lied. He did not lie about anything. Everything he's doing is something.
We just say America first. It seems like he's putting other countries first right now.
Why did Jewish people vote for Donald Trump then?
Because he changed the embassy. Let's start with the fact that he changed the embassy.
I'm saying, like, there's
one place to another one. Let's start there. Number two.
There's nothing that he did that I could say that Candace was like, oh, you didn't see this coming.
But also, how America First and all of his corporations were outsourced to China.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, can we just?
It's all,
like,
it's all fraud. It's all a fraud. All right, we got to move. Time for the scoop. All right. So we're going to do a little hit it and quit it. So right after Nelly made headlines criticizing Vice President Kamala Harris, we're now getting a clear picture of where some folks around him and maybe even his own household stand politically. Enter Ashanti's mom, Tina Douglas, is not here for it. We are not just talking about Nelly's comments. We're talking about his performance at Donald Trump's inauguration on the couple's new reality show, We Belong Together, that Dex has seen every second of. We see Tina urging Ashanti to speak up and make her own stance clear, emotionally recalling her family's history in the civil rights movement, and calling Nelly's decision, quote unquote, very emotional. Meanwhile, Nelly's brushing it off as something that he's just doing to, quote unquote, respect the office. Now, the next scene, we get a whole different kind of confession from Nelly. The rapper who is apparently, is he 50 years old, Dex? Is that true?
Nelly's 50 years old.
50?
Oh, that makes sense to me then.
With a
50 is crazy.
With a 1-year-old.
It all makes sense now.
He says he straight up refuses to change diapers, saying to Ashanti, quote, "I'll give you the world, just not a diaper." And he doubles down by bragging to his friends that he's letting her, quote, handle all of that until their baby starts walking and talking. But then after that, you know, he can hang out with the crew, Nelly and the boys. So here we are, 2025, debating if diaper duty is mandatory for both genders. How do you feel about Nelly? Is he just giving us way too much with this reality show, or do you think he's actually being real?
Nelly is a 50-year-old man that grew up poor in St. Louis and finally got some money. You tell me.
Can I just say, as the only person I'm sure who has watched this show, that like
I gave you a whole report.
I know
that's not true.
There you go.
Great. Can I just say, as a fan of Ashanti, and I watched the show because I was a fan of Ashanti, and like I enjoyed parts of it. Other parts I was like, oh, that's interesting, that's weird. But this was 8 episodes, hour-long episodes, and like I feel like the parts that are being picked out are just the most negative portions of it. And as a fan, as a person who actually wanted to watch it, social media has completely drained this show. I don't even want to watch it anymore. I don't want to talk about it. Like it's just. Like they drain the fun out of it. Like as a person who is actually excited to watch it and whatnot, just seeing this commentary is so draining. Of course, obviously in my household, like, you know, you don't become dad of the year if you don't change diapers or whatever. That is something that works for us. That's what we do. Like, well, I change diapers. Like, that's just what it is. But like, why are we discussing if this man changes his diaper? If she likes it, we love it. And that's really the end of it, in my opinion.
So you think they have a nice, happy? You enjoy the show? You enjoy their relationship?
Sure, I guess. I mean, there's things that I'm just, well, that's a little odd to me, that or whatever. But like, I'm not gonna jump on social media and write a think piece about it. There's things that are odd to me about my friends' relationship, but I don't talk about it. That's just my opinion. I don't care.
My lord.
Okay.
Like what, Dex?
Eric, as someone who seems like he's also, you watched the show. Have you watched any of it? Is that what
Yeah, I
you're getting
watched
to?
it. Yeah, I watched some of it.
Okay, how do you feel about what Nelly said? Do you feel like that's a kind of a childish thing to say at age 50 with your first
I
child?
mean, honestly, he's thinking like a grandpa instead of a father. You know what I'm saying? He's old enough to be somebody's granddaddy. He probably his older kids. He probably already is a grandfather. So
You watch
I
the
mean,
show. The show, you know, he has a grandchild. Who's on
yeah, that's
Oh, he had a
that's
grandchild. Oh, he has other children. I didn't know that.
yeah. He
Yes.
got older. He has older kids.
Yeah, he's two older children, or four really, because he adopted two or whatever, and one of them has one of them has a son who's actually older than Nelly's youngest child, which is
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Well, that does change. I think Eric is onto something. He might be thinking as a grandpa. That is interesting. Interesting little tidbit there. Thanks for that. Thanks for that, Eric. Ty, if you try to pull this in your household, what would be the reaction? Hold it,
Yeah,
Dex.
I think my quick commentary on this, because I don't care, is that I can't compare my household to Nelly's household because Nelly's rich, and if I'm rich, I'm probably not changing diapers either. I don't want to. Like you can have all the help you need. Why do I have to do it?
Yeah, I agree. If I was in Nelly's tax bracket, I wouldn't change diapers either.
And to be honest with you, if you watch that show, I don't think Ashanti's changing many diapers either. I didn't see one diaper in the show, and then at one point she's like, my whole life revolves around my baby. Then they showed him in the Sprinter van. That baby was in the trunk. The baby was in the back with the nanny. Like, so that's why I don't think it's stupid that people are having this discourse, because it's like, this girl's not complaining. She's really not complaining. She seems very content with her life.
I mean, she's got a reality show. They're paying the bills. All right, last week we brought you those disturbing allegations involving rapper Fat Joe, claims that came from his former hype man, and painted a deeply troubling picture of someone that we thought was, an icon of sorts in the hip hop genre. Well, now the Bronx MC is breaking his silence, and his response is as loud as the lawsuit itself. He responded on Instagram in a lengthy statement, as you can see here. We're not going to read the whole thing, blasting allegations as, quote, disgusting lies, and accusing his former hype man, Terrence T.A. Dixon, of betrayal and extortion. Dixon, who filed the federal lawsuit last week, claims that Joe underpaid him, forced him into thousands of sex acts in front of his crew, and even engaged in sexual relationships with underage girls, some reportedly as young as 15. Fat Joe didn't mention Dixon by name in his statement on Instagram, but he made it known that he sees this lawsuit as a coordinated attack on his name, his career, and his family. And he said, quote, "I've never let anyone on the streets extort me, so how would I let a crooked attorney and a coward ex-hype man extort me? I'm from the Bronx!" Exclamation point. His legal team is calling the entire lawsuit a fabrication. And another twist, as he said, Dixon's attorney, Tyrone Blackburn, was arrested in New York just days ago, accused of hitting a process server with his car. Blackburn's camp says that the arrest might have been a setup. Fat Joe ended his statement by saying, "You messed with the wrong one this time." So as we see, this is only getting more intense and honestly more complicated. On one side, you have these shocking allegations of Fat Joe, and on the other side, a very public denial and claim of assassination of character. So where do we land on all of this? Do you think Fat Joe's public denial can ever sort of override what has been filed in the courts so far?
I think with the Diddy trial, it was a very necessary cultural reset, because like when there was like this time period where like women would come out with stories, or men would come out with stories, and people would be like, they lying. Then things changed with the Me Too movement. Diddy came out with a story. I mean, they came out with this situation with Diddy, and people were like, oh, he's guilty. And now that the actual court is happening, not just a civil case, but the actual court case is happening, we're seeing things where we're like, maybe this isn't as black and white as we thought it was. There's a lot of gray areas. And I think we now have the ability to give the benefit of the doubt. Like, I think that with the Fat Joe situation, there's a lot of stuff in this suit that I'm like, that don't sound right to me at all. That don't sound right to me at all. The number 4,000, that don't make sense to me. But then at the same time, Fat Joe denies it, and it's just like you can give grace. It could be like maybe some of this stuff is true, maybe it's not. It's not up to us to decide anymore. But we can have our to me, I feel like I can be like, okay, we can see how this plays out versus immediately jumping to a conclusion of who's guilty or who's innocent.
So you're not taking the songs off the playlist, Ty, yet, or are you gonna go ahead and do that immediately?
No, you know what type of statement makes me feel like, yeah, oh baby, you didn't do this? Is like this similar statement to what Jay-Z made, was like, take me to criminal court. Like, don't try to extort me. Don't try to, like, if what you're saying is true, let's take this to court. That's what you're gonna have to hear from these people. Otherwise, it's always gonna be all gray area. I don't know what's happening. We'll play it out. Fat Joe needs to copy and paste that statement. Take your evidence and take me to court. All 4,000 of this, everything. Let's go.
But Bill, is there a reason why he hasn't said that? Do you think?
Oh, y'all know.
What do you mean?
It's already been said. Whatever Dex and Ty just said, I echo those sentiments. Okay. If that's the case, then what you ought to be saying is, oh yeah, well, let's prove it. Come on, let's go to court.
But he hasn't said that.
Well, that's not up to me to decide. I didn't go to law school. I am neither judge, jury, nor executioner.
You don't be Nancy Grace? What's going on?
I'm not Nancy Grace, honey.
Eric, you're someone who's very interested in this case. Do you think Fat Joe's denial changes anything for the situation?
Not really. After seeing some of these court cases lately, everybody's subject to change. So I don't trust anyone at this point. Like, but getting a 15-year-old BBL is kind of crazy talk to me.
Hold on, that was one of the allegations. Let's explore that a little bit. So
yeah,
what was said there? Go ahead.
That he got a 15-year-old BBL. Like,
and this is one of the ones that he's accused of having relations with.
Yep. One of the 4,000 that he's accused of having relations with, or forcing TA to have relations with. Yes, this is wild. I
like, bring them to court. Bring on 4,000 of them. You got a case. If this didn't happen, I'd be like, bring forth all these people to the courthouse and prove any of them, because it didn't happen.
Here's the thing about that, though, right? Michael Jackson went through a similar thing, and they levied and railed accusations against this man, who in the end turned out to be quite innocent, and it may have been a ploy from one Tommy Mottola to get the masters back. Like, so even, railing and hurling accusations doesn't necessarily prove innocence or guilt.
And we've seen that in the Diddy case a lot.
That's very so much true.
And with more, Dex, your segues today have been tremendous. You guys have been doing a great job.
I do what I can.
And with more on that, let's move to the DMZ.
Guys, Eric, sadly, this is probably our last week of DMZ. I don't think
the last one.
Yeah, we won't be continuing after this. I do think tomorrow we will know the fate of Sean P. Diddy Combs. I think that first things first, these people are like, you are not finna get rid of my 4-day weekend. We finna get this situation squared up right now, guilty or innocent. They did come up with a verdict on, I think it was count 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yep.
And they did not come up with anything on count 1, which is the RICO. And if I'm not mistaken, that's what would give him life in prison.
Yeah.
Eric and I talked a lot. I don't see him being guilty on that, but everything else, yeah.
But how you going? But thing I don't understand, like, how are you going to say he's guilty of RICO? You know what I'm saying? If 2, 3, 4, and 5, like they all tied together. So that's what I'm not understanding. How are you guilty on 2, 3, 4, and 5? Yeah, come on.
I do, because someone did hit me up on Twitter about this, and I was curious also about the same situation. They said 2 scenarios for that. One, he's guilty on counts 2 and 3 for victim 1, which is Cassie, but not guilty on counts 4 and 5 for victim 2. So they're undecided on the RICO because she's his ex, and they didn't do a good job hammering home that she was his employee too.
What you talking about, Jane Doe or Cassie?
Jane Doe. Yeah.
Yeah, because Jane Doe was a concubine. She was definitely not.
I think a lot of the stuff with her, it's just getting tossed out.
But then they also said a third scenario would be he's not guilty on counts 2 through 5 because they decided that the women were willing participants because they might have consented to the sex at some point. But they might.
Then you can't convict him. Then you can't convict him on RICO if he's not guilty. If he's not guilty on 2, 3, 4, and 5.
But that was the reason why I think that at least some of those, like they did find them guilty, because if you did not, then I don't think there will be any questions about the RICO portion of it. I think that there is some yeses and some nos, and then the RICO they're confused about overall.
Yeah, I think he's going down. I think he's going down for the prostitution, but I don't know about the rest of it.
I will say that I feel like they are confused about the RICO, and so am I.
yeah. I think we all kind of flabbergasted about the RICO. It's just like, I'm not understanding why. They're stuck on RICO, but 2, 3, 4, and 5 they already got a verdict on.
And last thing, Eric, it has been an honor to cover this trial with you. This has probably been like myself.
Yeah, we are best friends for life now. After this one, we will move on to the next one.
I got a question.
Hey, but Dex, we didn't say the trigger word for Bill. Astroglide.
Oh, no. We off of that. We are Kingdom Blessings, beloved. We are off of that. It is now time for Q&A. This is the part of the show where you all have questions about things other than whatever they were talking about, and we do our level best to answer. So tonight, our questions are going to be views from the OR as an operating room.
Earlier we weren't talking about Drake, but then a Q&A question came in, so I'm sorry, but we're going to address the issue on the table that's been issuing across the week.
Let me zoom on in here. As a woman, because I hate when people preface by saying as a man, as a lawyer, we don't care about your resume. Just ask the question. We're not here for that. But as a woman, let me just say, the way y'all treat men who get cosmetic enhancements is embarrassing. The rumors about Drake maybe getting ab etching, hairline fixes, some subtle sculpting, the internet went crazy. But when a woman walks out with a snatched waist, 30 inches of Brazilian bundles, lash extensions, a nose job. God, are you putting together a new person? And a perfectly contoured jawline, it's a bad energy, as it should be. But the second a man does even one thing to boost his confidence, whether it's a hair unit, some body sculpting, or gasp, shapewear, suddenly he's fake, insecure, and not a real man. Be serious. Let's not pretend men don't have body image issues too. Society just teaches them to bottle it up or joke it away. God forbid a man actually does something about it. He gets clowned. I wear shapewear. I've worn wigs. I've considered Botox. And guess what? It's all a part of owning how I want to look. Why shouldn't we get that? Why shouldn't men get that same freedom? So are we really mad that men are faking it? Or are some of y'all just mad that they look better than you?
Ooh.
Can I start?
Drag this.
Can I start this one?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think to be honest with you, I think you care too much about what other people are saying, and you care too much about society's opinion. For my wedding, I put a unit on. I was also on television with the unit. Nobody said anything bad about me, and if they did, they didn't say it to me. I didn't feel insecure about it. I didn't care. It wasn't a secret.
Except when it rained.
When it rained, every single person saw me hightail it out of there because I wasn't going to get my hair wet. I just was not going to do it. I'm not embarrassed of anything. I didn't hide it. I told people this is right. And maybe the issue is not other people or other men or women doing this. It's the man themselves. Because if I got my body done, I had ab etching, I would be on this camera with my abs out. I like, what are you going to do about it? This is my body. I did this because I wanted to do it. A lot of guys are getting Ozempic. Okay, like what's the issue? Nobody has an issue with this except for people in your circle. In my circle, people do what they want to do, and nobody has anything to say about it. At least not to the person's face.
Oh, definitely not to their face. I mean, I didn't want to talk about this because I don't really have these issues. But if people decide to get cosmetic surgery, I mean, it's on them how much they post. If they decide to post it to the world, you gotta accept what the world gives you back. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, no one told Drake to post this, for instance. No one tells people to post things, but if you're going to show it off, you have to be ready to accept, you know, whatever feedback that you get back from, because you're posting it for a reason. You're posting it to get some sort of feedback, right? So if people give you feedback, you can't be upset about the feedback that they give you. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, if you're comfortable with doing that, if you have the money to do it, and you feel like it's going to make you feel more confident in yourself, go ahead. But like I say, if you're going to post it, you're leaving yourself up to the whims and the opinions of others.
You don't have to say anything, though. You really could just shut the fuck up.
No, you could. I did. Yeah, I did.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's you just what you just said.
But you also can't be mad if people do decide
to
comment because you're the one who posted it.
Yeah, but you can. I posted because I wanted to. You don't have to comment on anything I have going on. That kind of proves what this lady is saying. Like, she's saying, "Why do you do that?" And you can't be like, "Oh, I do it because you posted it." What the hell? Like, that's not cool.
I'm not saying I do it because you posted, but you can't be upset if you post something on a public forum for you're Drake, you're one of the most famous people in the world, and you think people aren't going to be on your ass about something like this, especially when Kendrick just had a song talking about where did you get your abs from?
I get it, but I think what she's saying is that it's unnecessary, and I do agree.
It is unnecessary, but
I think I'm with you as far as like if you post it, you do it. Like, it is what it is, but like I don't like the idea of like you have to be expecting people to say stuff because you don't.
I think one thing that a lot of people don't consider is that everyone is not in their age range. Like, the people on the internet are endless, right? So you think that people are more mature and everyone doesn't have to comment, but you're talking to people who are 16 and 13, you know what I'm saying, and 18, people who don't care about what you think they should be doing. So, like I said, if you're going to put it on the internet, be ready for whatever the hell comes because you don't know what's going to happen.
But isn't that par for the course when you're a public figure, though?
Exactly.
I mean, you have somebody looking at your Instagram post. Millions of people follow you. You don't think nobody's going to comment on how you look?
Hundreds of millions. Like we're talking about Drake. Like, he's one of the most famous people in the world.
This also extends outside of just public figures. This is also like regular people. Like what she is saying is that like she doesn't like to see people get bullied for trying to enhance their looks, and like she's not wrong. To me, and I guess maybe my perception is wrong. I just look at it like this. I don't see this happening because it didn't happen to me, but maybe it does happen to other people. Maybe she has a more valid point than I thought.
Just do me a favor and send my support video directly to Drake so he can pay for my ab surgery as well.
I mean, I do think that men do have I don't want to say unfair, but
unfair society. Go ahead and get over it.
Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't say it's unfair, but they have an expectation that whatever they did had to be built.
Because you can't.
It has to be built brick by brick, and you can't take the easy way out. You have to get it out the mud. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and a lot of people feel. With the money, you get the money out the mud.
Gotta get it out the mud, bro. That's how it is. That's
a lot of people feel like men have this responsibility for everything to be legit. You know what I'm saying? You can't fake it because that's
you worked for it.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see that you worked for it. That's it. Move on.
But I mean, if people have been following him since day one, they've seen the transformation. You know what I'm saying? Like, they see. People care more about him than they care about their own lives. So of course, if he gets any kind of body enhancement, they've been looking at his pictures for years, so they're going to say something about the picture. Like, you know what I'm saying? If Stephen A. Smith shows up with a hairline tomorrow, I'm going to comment. You know what I'm saying?
You are exactly. I'm think about that. We're going to say something.
I'm going to say something. You know what I'm saying?
You're going to say something.
I'm in my 40s. I'm not young, but I'm going to say something. Yeah, definitely not a YN. But if Stephen A. Smith shows up with a hairline, I'm going to say something like,
Yeah,
bro.
we all are because it's
Right.
ridiculous.
No, not me.
There are two
would.
If he showed up with a headline, you wouldn't say a word.
I just don't look at it like, because when people say this stuff, they are dragging these people, and I just don't. Ty, I showed you a hairline. I popped up on you with a hairline.
But Dex, you are Dexter.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
I'm gonna drag Stephen A. Smith.
You're not a serious person. So, like, when you do the stuff that you do, it's because it's you. It's you're.
But like Drake.
We don't take you seriously. It was a whole ridiculous scene because you didn't just show up with a unit. You had to go on a little special. You had to do all this extra stuff. You had to be ridiculous. You Dextered the whole thing up.
That's what I do.
Right, but if Drake would have came out and showed his ab edging surgery,
right? Who was that other guy who got
his
the
boobs
lipo
down
and all other
to
stuff?
his solar plexus, we would have appreciated that. But he's not that forthcoming. He's out here trying to act like he worked for it, and he did. And you know what I'm saying? And that's what Kendrick called him out on. So that's why.
So there are two schools of thought here. Sister girl that wrote us in that let us know that as a woman how she felt, which is wonderful. There's one school of thought that says, stay out of women's business, Peter. That's the one school of thought, right? As a man, you need to get it out the mud, right? You need to not do what the women do. Let the women be women. There's another school of thought that says, who cares? Who absolutely cares? And watch this. Two things can be true at the same time. Both things are correct. Both of these things are correct. Number one, stay out of women's business, Peter. Okay? Stay out of women's business. And number two, who cares if you want to walk around pumping and plessing around and high heels married to your wife? Who cares? Is anybody going to say anything to you? Can they beat you? If they can, who cares? Because you're still going to do what you want to do. And that.
Hold on, for Drake, it's really not who can beat you. It's who can beat your security guard.
Well, okay. Who can? Either way, if they can't beat you, if they can beat you, they can't beat your money. Okay, so right? They can, obviously they can't because you wouldn't. They wouldn't stone them abs in that stomach. So do whatever makes you happy, and who cares what people have to say about it. The one thing my grandmother used to tell me is you ain't got to kiss nobody's ass to get along with them. Okay, and so you all need to take that with you. It doesn't matter what people think about you because they're thinking it about you. That's their problem. Who you are is not what you who you are in people's minds is not your problem. That's their problem. You don't have to live up to what people have their concepts about you in their brains. That's between them, and that's what they need to work out. What you need to work out is how you feel about you. And that has been Q&A for this evening. Jason?
So press record and let you feel me.
Seemed like one of those endings where you got kind of caught up in the air. You didn't know how to.
A little long.
It was like a Jerry's final thought. Take care of yourselves, Annie.
I was waiting for the bow. But it never showed up.
I'm trying to wrap that thing up like a Macy's box.
All right. For tonight, the category, too old for all that. Too old for all that, which we are. Let me tell you, we are very old.
Old as a boo.
Unk status, okay? We're not Nelly old. We're not giving Nelly. But
we're still young enough to change diapers. We're young enough to change diapers, but we're too old to begin male units now.
Yeah, exactly.
Now.
Yeah, y'all still big bro. I'm Unk.
Okay, we big bro. Okay, I'll take it. First up, we have a woman, a pastor, Bill, who was imparting wisdom on someone by encouraging them to get a douche with holy water.
One of my waters that I anointed back there quickly, please. I'm going to give you this. I anointed this water, and I don't want y'all to think I'm crazy, but I want to break that soul tie from those that bring you. And I want you to douche with this here. And anointed the oil that's in here. I want you to pour a little oil in here. And when you take a douche, I'm going to give you the scripture. Because God wants a rape that came upon you.
Yo,
I wish her the best.
did you see the two white ladies standing there like, yo, oh my God.
She said to that lady, she said, I want you to take this and throw this oil in there and throw your pH balance all the way off in the name of the Lord.
Well, she said it was to cure the sexual assault that she had, and she thought that was
like y'all gotta.
I was curious because I was like listening to the video because I'm like, what scripture is she going to refer to? What is she about to misinterpret like a motherfucker? God. This people just say anything.
She couldn't even find one.
She said, "Put a little bit of oil in this water."
And y'all, the problem is not only do people be saying anything, y'all be letting them say it. I just slapped that oil out of her hand and was like, "Girl, if you don't get."
Because my first thought was like the lady, like her face was just like stone, like she did not change her face at all. And I'm like, are you gonna go do it?
Right.
Not only is gonna go and do it, and then come back and lie and be like, "Oh, it never happened, y'all."
Right.
It was just depressed.
We wish her
Y'all
the
gotta come out of
absolute
that.
best.
Like we gotta stop. Like I'm a churchgoer. We gotta stop with this stuff. Like gotta get these.
Gotta stop
throwing these heretics, man. We gotta get these people out of here.
That's
she could.
I'm the tie.
She anointed that oil.
Yeah,
she didn't anoint anything, and that was a really silly thing. It's like this woman needs help. She's got you got therapy services. You got different things. Like she needs actual help. You're gonna tell her to dish water that you anointed in her hiney?
Oil and water.
Not in her hiney.
Instead of saying,
I didn't want to use the worst.
Instead of saying, hey, I'm going to connect you to some services so you can get some therapy. That would have been the anointed thing to do.
I think the craziest part about it, she believes that this is going to work. Like this ain't something that she just made. She believes.
Let me tell you further. I guarantee that woman, after circling around looking for her little bow, came up with the woman with the issue of blood, and that's the scripture. I guarantee it. I can almost bet my
She's
life.
from the Dishon generation, though. Like I think we played a video on
that
here.
water bottle that I anointed back there. Yeah. Bring me that water. I
little mini water bottle.
They're tearing over this bottle of water.
She's a generation.
Like cheap.
That don't mean nothing to me.
Where they give the singers.
Only baby boomers say stuff like that. That's a fact. Only
they stopped dishing in afterward.
Okay, next.
She acting like it's an everyday occurrence. Next time when you go take a shower, next time you dish, you're like what, ma'am? Excuse me.
Y'all gotta come out. Y'all gotta come out of that.
Next up, we have ACL, MCL, PCL, someone who's too old for all that. You see how that leg bent back? Ooh. You are too old to be riding some motorized scooter.
It's that cry and distress that really does the trick.
Driving in agony, man. I cannot imagine that hurt.
I can imagine that because that's like how that time when I was taking a run with Ty and he threw me over that gate. That's how I felt. So that is very triggering to me. So I don't like that one. Let's not talk about that one. Let's move to the next one.
All right, next up, we have Puppy Love. Two people who are madly, I guess, in love.
Wait. I'm sorry. This is great. You got agony.
It is not 1925. Get up off this car if I run y'all over.
Man.
Why would you be on that? What are we doing?
Bro, I'd have hit the gas so fast and hit that brake so hard. They'd have went flying off the roof, off the hood of my car, man.
You would have.
Oh,
get off of my car. You know how much a paint job costs? Get off. You can't go buy a house with a marble and 3 peppermints. Get off my car.
I don't understand how that happened though. Like, were they walking across the street and just decided to just lay on that person's car like it was a bed?
Just to start making out.
Too old for that.
And you just blew your horn? I wouldn't have ran them over. I would have got out the car and like we would have had some action.
Threesome? A threesome? What do you mean?
Yeah. Sure.
As soon as that ass would have touched the hood of my car, I'd have hit the gas, and halfway through the intersection, I'd have hit the brake and watched them go flying.
It ain't that much horny in the world where you couldn't have waited until you got across the street to hunch up on each other. You had to do that on that man's car.
Hey, guess what? I guarantee you they ain't even that in love for y'all to be.
They cheating. They
on
their respective.
Oh, that's definitely a clandestine affair.
They're having an affair. Yeah, 100% having an affair. 100%. Tugging each other down.
Real couples are not that much in love. Y'all getting on each other's nerves.
Not at all. If anything,
that's a good cheat.
We love an affair.
A blessed affair. What a wonderful life. You want that moon? I'll lasso it for you.
Lassoing
it's a
good.
callback to a 4-hour movie that comes on NBC every December. All right, next up we have Michael Jackson, Reincarnated.
As he came into the window with the sound of a crescendo, he came in her apartment at the best things on the carpet. She was under the table. You could see she wasn't able. Then she ran into the bedroom. She was sucked down. It was her doom. Are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? Are you okay? With the down, she walking. At the side of the window, he's talking. Pushing the Annie. He was in the airport. At the balcony, on the carpet. He was in the bedroom. He was shut down. He was shot you. Annie, are you okay? You've been hit by, you've been stuck by a smooth criminal.
Ooh. You know, he was actually in the right key.
He did stay in the right key. He was a little faint. That falsetto was very false.
Shallow and pedantic.
I don't think I saw was Mario on that shirt, and someone needs to knock the Mario Kart coins out of that man. Like, don't get on my camera doing this again, ever.
When he jumped on the camera, I thought he was going to get up off that thing and dance. that's what he looked like.
The poses in, though. He was ready for that.
He had all the poses. That wig was tight. He had
that wig was tight.
That wig was strapped. How many dollars do you think they gave him?
You think he was finna get money?
Of course, Dax. That man did not do that for free.
He was performing for loose cigarettes.
Right.
Wait, can I say something, Will? Did you see in that video all that trash that was in that dumpster? Did that trigger you? Your trash don't go in the dumpster. It's on your street corner.
Ooh-wee.
It all blew over the little street corner.
As he came into the window with the sound of a crescendo, he came in her apartment at the best things on the carpet. She was under
her apartment.
That stomach was poking too. He didn't want to know.
You ain't missing no meals, huh?
Not a one.
All right, which one wins for two over all that?
Number one.
The douche, puppy love, ACL, MCL, or MJ?
Douche lady.
Oh, for sure.
All right, we'll see her. Di, do you have any?
He don't want to look at the video again.
But I'm voting for James Brown because I can't have her.
Don't do that. Don't do that to James.
Ruining up the name of the church.
Right. I would use that.
One of my waters that I anointed back there quickly, please. I'm gonna give you.
Quickly, please.
She
one of those waters that anointed.
Quickly, please.
She said with her one good eye. She said one of those waters that I anointed. Sell these.
like yo, she back there opening up all the good waters. She back there opening up all the good waters, man. Ain't nobody drinking them waters.
See, never mind, because I'm about to get started. Because if she had real power, she'd have been able to deal with it right then and there. She ain't got
That
no
was
oil.
that one of them little mini bottles. That wasn't even a full bottle. It was like,
And watch this. I guarantee that's one of them bottles that she bought off of Jimmy Swagger. That's one of them bottles she bought.
One of my waters that I anointed back there quickly, please. I'm going to give you this. I anointed this water, and I don't want y'all to think I'm crazy, but I want to break that soul tie from those that.
Yeah, this got to make it because I didn't notice how many white people were standing around her the first time.
That's what I'm saying.
I think she was a guest. I think she was a guest minister.
And then she said,
absolutely
"I
was a
want y'all to
guest.
think I'm crazy." Did y'all hear all that? I did not hear that the first time. She's got to make
Yeah,
it.
She was a prophet. She's a traveling prophet.
She's not. See, no.
Well,
We
that's
need
what
to
she
stop
builds
right
herself
then and
as.
there.
That's what she.
I'm sure.
Is what she is.
She's a witch.
She's a
witch. And y'all need to tune in. The Bible teaches us that some of these men came in, they crept in unawares. That's because y'all not making foolproof of y'all ministries. Y'all just letting any old thing in there. There's no way I'd have let her in my pulpit to get to preaching, and you getting up with that nonsense. I'd have set her tail right down. Thank you, Jezebel. You can't control nothing over here.
From that lady's hand and escorted her in that little dress up out of my
right on out. And the waters. Take the water with you.
And the water and the
ride back.
I'm not. How many of these waters back here did she touch?
Right.
Yeah, does she open? She opened them.
I'd have took all them waters, all of them, every water in the church got to go. We taking all of them.
Waters.
We
I'm
need to go buy some new water.
Worship team. Why are you anointing waters? What are you doing here back?
I'm telling you.
Yeah, myself. Like, come on.
She'd have to take that water on a ride back home with her. Okay.
My head hurts.
Oh my god. But if anybody needs a seat more than her, please, you have the floor.
I have one.
Go ahead, Dixie. I'm about to jump on in there.
All right, guys. This is not necessarily a seat, more so like a warning and like just to be on the safe side. So I saw this story a couple weeks ago where these people were getting ready to go to a Beyonce concert. And one of the people in their party, it was 3 of them, they passed away. And then the other 2, they went to the concert and had a good time. Mm-hmm. I just want to let my friends and my family know that if we were planning to go to a concert or a movie theater or a walk in the park, if I died, the plans die. You are not to see a concert after I die. They said my friend would have wanted me to see would have wanted us to go to the concert. No, the hell I would not. I want you to sit at home and cry because I'm dead.
I know you're right.
I don't want
to good. Y'all better mourn good.
They're up there saying, Beyonce, you won't break my soul. And literally my life, I'm a soul at this point. Get your ass in the house and mourn me. That's what I want you to do.
So you want people to ruin and cancel their entire plans on top of having to go to your funeral.
Jason, my
plan, I know it's right.
Any plan that I had is canceled. You better
listen. I got it in my will that if I die on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, y'all better not announce nothing until Monday morning. Okay?
Wow.
I have a family meeting and I need to announce on Monday morning because I need the morning period to be the whole week. I need y'all to be you need to be towed up the whole week behind me dying.
Yes. And I think I said it before on this show that like I want to direct my own funeral. I really want everybody to get 20 minutes up there to talk about how great of a legend. Ty said it himself. He said, Dexter, you are not a serious person. Well, I want in death, I want to not be a serious person. And I want y'all to sit in my funeral for 3 hours and just talk about how unserious I was as a human being. And
yeah, we gonna passing out them little ass waters at your funeral then Dexter for 3 hours.
Look, if y'all gotta go in the bathroom and douche with the waters, go douche with the waters. I want y'all at my funeral for 3 hours, and I think I want it on TV too. Matter of fact, when y'all do this show after I go, do it live for my funeral. Do BroTalk live for my funeral. I want to be in the
I would love to do BroTalk live for my funeral. That's like my dream.
And I want to be in the back with my hat on.
Jason, why would that be a dream of yours?
Because I wanted to play throughout the church. Like I want our broadcast to play and like we're like doing play by play. like as people walk up and as people sit down. I think that's actually our calling.
Excellent.
As a show.
Wait,
I don't know
hold
who
on.
our is.
Our calling is
I gotta go first.
funerals.
Yeah, I think our calling is to be funeral hosts. Like I think
That's like being the funeral singer. That means you failed it. Though.
I think live
Well, hold on
broadcast for
now,
funerals are
hold
the
on
next
now.
foray.
Let me tell y'all something about the funerals pay good.
Exactly. I feel like we should get FanDuel or DraftKings in on it and get broadcast live from a funeral.
I done been the funeral singer before. I done been the funeral organist. When my homies in the hood die, I'll be the hood funeral preacher. They pay good. They pay up front.
Because really the good part about a funeral is like it's like BroTalk. It's like the show inside of the show. Like that's the best part of the funeral. It's like it's like betting who's going to go crazy. It's like who's going to have the longest, who's going to cry, who's going to have the longest speech, like who's going to crack when they sing. All that stuff is great, and I feel like we should.
Of course, who did the body?
Who did the body is an amazing game, and I feel like that's great.
We should do that.
We're gonna have an over. We're gonna have an over under at the funeral. Like that's crazy.
Over under, yeah, how many hands touched his body? You know, something like that, where we can go back and talk to the funeral director. Because funeral directors are very personable people because they don't talk to a lot of people. They're often alone with dead bodies. So when you get a chance to talk to them, I've actually talked to a lot of funeral directors because they have no one to talk to throughout the day. So they're really
and they be chatty, Jason. Don't they be
very
chatty?
Yeah, it's
oh
good.
My word, they be chatty.
Let me just say this one final thing on my seat. The last and final thing I want to just make it clear for my funeral is that after the funeral is over, you guys are going home to cry. There is no repass. There is no.
What do you mean no repass?
There is no way.
BroTalk Live is hosting a repass.
Yeah. For me,
we're definitely broadcasting live during the repass.
There is no way that you go to my funeral and people cry and they be sad or whatever, and then you go have a party. What is there to celebrate?
Yeah. We gonna get Chick-fil-A to sponsor it, Dex. You gonna be all right. You gonna be happy.
We're gonna have you on that Chick-fil-A ice.
Yeah.
There is no repass after my funeral. Like when the people die and I go to a repass, I be like, why are people laughing? Like why are they happy?
We're gonna be like chicken sandwiches and cups of ice for everybody.
No, I wish y'all would have a good time.
We giving out Taco Bell.
Yeah, no. We gonna honor Dex. We gonna give out. We gonna honor Dex. We gonna give out chicken sandwiches and cups of ice. We gonna hook them up.
Dex ain't eating no chicken sandwich. Dex was over there taking shots of Patron, drinking Shamrock shakes, and eating Taco Bell. That's what's gonna be at that
But he did
repass.
get a little fillet. He ain't no sandwich, but he would get a fillet.
Well, just based on what you said, they're gonna be like, that's exactly why he's right where he
is. Why he laid up there in that ground.
That's why.
Why Myrtle had to close that casket on him.
Myrtle. I can't take that.
Being the unserious person Dex is, he has taken up all the seat time. Henceforth,
we do need to chat though because
your seats for next
my
week.
obituary is done. I did my obituary, Dex.
How's that in the segment?
I did.
You know what I like to do? I like to take all the energy and all the air out of the show.
All right, thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a wonderful show as always. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, YouTube, it's Twitter, I should say X, I should say, and YouTube, youtube.com/BroTalk Live. Be sure to run us up this week. You know, we've been kind of quiet. I've been tired, but I'll be getting back to posting more regularly this week. And follow us on all your various platforms. For Dex, for Ty, for Bill. Bill, you have any announcement about your book?
Go buy my book. My book is out now.
What's it called?
My book, 5 years later. All you gotta do is go to Amazon.com and type in 5 years later, and I promise you to pop up. Okay.
And it is a stirring story for the soul. And I will be buying mine after the show.
What'd you say? What?
Oh, I thought Jason. I was asking Jason if he finished it yet.
Oh no, you know, Jason is just like Eric. Like he said, "Oh, I watched the show and moved like how many episodes?" He said 1.5. Yeah. You know that family. So you got.
I've located the link.
He skimmed through it.
Bill did say Bill said we were getting physical copies, so I was waiting my physical copy.
Are you giving us free copies, or
he did say he was giving us signed free copies?
We're expecting to purchase the book.
Absolutely.
Well, I tell you, with friends like
I will purchase a digital copy, but I you did mention in the text messages that we would be getting signed hard.
Well, then you got to pull up them text messages and show the people over here, because I ain't never said nothing like that.
I'll post it.
He did say I would sign the copy, but
Yeah.
after you buy it,
I would sign the copy. You got to go buy the book. I'm not handing y'all
I'll
out
review the
free-
messages and I'll post it on Instagram.
Can you just hand me a book signed? I don't want to purchase it.
No, please.
No, y'all, please.
You give me $35 and I'll purchase it with you.
No. All right. For time for Bill, for Eric, this has been an edition of Bro Talk Live. We will see you guys next week. Peace.